What is up, everybody? My name is Noah, and I am one of the two members here on the Wire to Wire Fantasy Squad. My other boy is McGregor, but he is not here today to record this particular video. Today, I'm taking you guys through the top 25 wide receivers in my eyes for PPR formats. All right. So we're just going to go over the names. I'm going to tell you why I like them and why I'm placing them and the positions that I'm placing them and about where you should probably look to draft them. All right. So this is my first video. This is our first video on our channel. So if you're new here, make sure you subscribe because we will be producing videos pretty much every day to try and help you get the best possible finish in your fantasy league this season. All right. First up, we have Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas broke a ton of records last year, some 1,700 receiving yards. He was just a beast, and he will be a beast again. He is my number one receiver this year. After that, we have Davante Adams. Now, Davante Adams missed around 6 weeks last year due to the turf toe injury. So that pretty much that affected his fantasy production a lot. But I fully expect him to rebound and have an amazing year. I mean, when you look at the Packers and their wide receivers, it's pretty much only Davante Adams. I mean, the other two guys you could maybe talk about are Alvin Lazard and Marquez Valdes-Scantling. So the difference between those two guys and Davante Adams is big. So he will get the targets. He will have the volume. After that, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, another one of those players. He's Mahomes' guy. Him and Travis Kelce are the guys Mahomes goes to the most. Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. You can voice your opinion in the comments if you think otherwise, but Tyreek Hill is Mahomes' guy. So with his speed, and we all know what he's done to cornerbacks, especially in the Super Bowl when he killed Richard Sherman, he's going to do it all again this year. He had a great year last year, and he's going to have a great year this year. Now we have DeAndre Hopkins at the number 4 spot. Maybe a little bit higher than you guys would expect, but I mean, I'm all for riding the wave on D-Hop. I mean, you could say, yeah, he's going to a new team. He takes some time to gel with the quarterback. I mean, you guys have seen Odell Beckham and Baker Mayfield in the past 2 years. I mean, it hasn't been amazing, but I think that DeAndre Hopkins and Kyler Murray's quality is too much, and I think that I can really see them gelling together nicely. And with their offense, Hopkins will be a threat. All right, then we have Julio Jones. Julio Jones, in my opinion, is the best wide receiver in the league. But unfortunately, that doesn't translate exactly to fantasy. So he's at my number 5. Julio Jones is a beast in fantasy, but for some reason, it seems like he doesn't get that many touchdowns. Like he kind of falls short in the red zone. But nonetheless, just a beast. The Falcons are going to be the team that throws the ball the most this year, so he will get a ton of targets. After that, we have Chris Godwin. I'm real high on Chris Godwin. I love Chris Godwin. He had a great year last year. New quarterback, Tom Brady, better quarterback. We'll be able to find him even better, I think, this year. He might not have the best, like as good of a season as last year because I'm sure it'll be hard to replicate that. But Chris Godwin is a major go. After that, we have Kenny Golladay. Kenny Golladay is someone who he's just reliable. He will get you the 13, 14, 15 points every single week. I mean, if Matt Stafford and him are fully healthy, I mean, they are probably one of the two best tandems that you can have in football. I mean, Golladay, he is incredible. Last year, he had a great year, and I think this year he will have more or less the same. I mean, I can see him easily getting a 1,200 receiving yard season with 7 or 8 touchdowns. That is wide receiver 1 quality. After that, we have Robert Woods. He might be a little bit higher than you guys would expect, but if you see towards the end of last year, when he was getting 11, 12, maybe even 13 catches for the last 5, 6 weeks last year when the Rams started to pass the ball better, that's when his stock increased. In a PPR league, it's all about getting those catches, getting those targets. Robert Woods is the main receiver on the Rams. He will get the volume. The volume will be there. He will get the targets, and hopefully he will get you the touchdowns too, because he had a little bit of a lack in that department last year. After Robert Woods, we have Mike Evans. I love Mike Evans, but for some reason, he's just a little bit inconsistent. As you saw last year, he would have 40-point games and then 2-point games. It wasn't that consistent. However, I see him mellowing out a little more, not in the sense that he won't score as many points, but in the sense that instead of having a 40 and a 2-point game, he'll have maybe 15-point game, 20-point game, 10-point game. It won't be that much of a difference. After Mike Evans, you have DJ Moore. DJ Moore is the most important aspect of this Panthers offense, of course, behind Christian McCaffrey, because, Christian McCaffrey is Christian McCaffrey. But DJ Moore, the best receiver on the Panthers for sure. It'll be interesting to see how he does with Teddy Bridgewater. And I do question his big playability down the field a little bit, but I think that nonetheless he should be a low-end wide receiver one for the season. After DJ Moore, we have Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, I'm a Pittsburgh fan, so I might have a little bit of a bias, but I don't think it's too outlandish to put Juju here. Okay, he didn't have the best season last year, but there's a couple of reasons for that. He was injured for a couple of games, and for the whole season, besides week 1 against the Patriots, he had to deal with Mason Rudolph and Duck Hodges. That is horrible for a wide receiver. He had his worst year so far, but I really expect him to rebound nicely with Big Ben back. James Conner will hopefully be healthy the whole time. I can see Juju with a major rebound year. After Juju, we have Allen Robinson. A-Rob, I'm a big fan of this guy. I kind of feel bad for him in a sense because he's had to deal with such bad quarterbacks his whole career. But other than that, in terms of fantasy production, he is a beast. I would put him as around a wide receiver too, but he will do the bits for you, and if you can get him around round 4, round 5, he won't disappoint. After Allen Robinson, we have Amari Cooper. For me, Amari Cooper is just a little bit too inconsistent. I'm not going to pick him in too many drafts because I'm concerned with how the Dallas is lining up. Like, their 3 receivers, Cooper, Gallup, and Lamb, it seems like Prescott could go to any one of them. And 1 week Gallup could go off, and the next week Lamb could go off, the next week Cooper could go off. There's too much uncertainty there, though. So I don't really want to touch Cooper too much unless I can get him later in the draft if people start sleeping on him. But he's a great receiver. You had some games last year where he would have, kind of like Mike Evans, 20 points and then 5 points, and it just wouldn't be consistent. And if I'm drafting a wide receiver that will potentially be my wide receiver 1, I need consistency. I need that Michael Thomas of last year every single game. Obviously, probably not 20 points every single game, which would be nice, but at your wide receiver 1, you want to have somebody that's getting you 14, 15, 16 points week in, week out. After Amari Cooper, we have OBJ. OBJ is someone probably with close to the highest upside on this list. I have him as a wide receiver too, but if he starts working well and things start going well with Baker Mayfield, he can jump to a wide receiver 1 easily. His talent is unmatched. We just need to see him have that form that connection with Baker Mayfield. But I think if that happens, then you can really start to see a rise in Odell Beckham Jr.'s game that we've kind of been waiting for the past 2 years here with him at the Browns. Adam Thielen next. Adam Thielen is now the primary receiver in this Minnesota Vikings team. Stephon Diggs left to go to Buffalo, so Adam Thielen is left to be the main guy. Obviously, they brought in Justin Jefferson to help him a little bit, but Adam Thielen now, which kind of worries me, won't be playing in the slot anymore. When Stephon Diggs was there, Thielen was in the slot. He got a lot of catches. Now Thielen's probably going to be on the outside. So we'll see how that works out. I still expect him to have a good year, but, we'll see how it works out. After Adam Thielen, we have Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is a guy that I rate highly. His year last year, not great. His rookie season was great. But when you have this Falcons team where their defense is so bad, and they're going to be throwing the ball so much, it's just going to open the door for Ridley to have another good season. He's going to get the targets. He's going to get the volume. Julio will take the best DB, and Calvin Ridley will be left open. And if you guys have seen his route running on social media, it's pretty good. After Calvin Ridley, we have Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, whatever you want to call him. Um, I like Terry McLaurin this year. He had a good year last year with Dwayne Haskins, but it wasn't amazing, right? Hopefully we can see the really like the boom that we all want and see with Terry McLaurin and Dwayne Haskins. I don't know if it'll happen, but if that Ohio State connection really starts getting to work, we could see it happen. I mean, he's got a lot of upside. It's going to be exciting to watch him this year. I have him in a lot of leagues, so I think he'll do well. After McLaurin, we have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I can't really put them one above the other because, and I'll explain here, Tyler Lockett is Wilson's main guy. Tyler Lockett is the PPR guy. He's the guy that will get you 8, 9 catches a game in the slot and, get you 70 receiving yards and maybe a touchdown every few games. But he's not going to have that huge big playability. Metcalf, on the other hand, he's a beast, but he has that big playability. So the two complement each other nicely. The Seahawks offense is going to be good this year. But I can't put one ahead of the other because of how they play, just to keep that in mind. Basically, if I were drafting, I would look at it as if do you want somebody who's making the big plays? Do you want somebody who might get you more touchdowns, or do you want somebody that might get you more catches? And that's what you're going to get with those two guys. After those two, we have Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup is, in my opinion, the best wide receiver 2 in the league with Calvin Ridley. Them two are amazing. Michael Gallup, the only reason I have him a little bit lower than Calvin Ridley is because with the Falcons, with the Cowboys, sorry, they have so many receiving options, so many players that they can throw to that it might decrease his targets a little bit. But if it was anything like last year, he will be great again and a great value pick. If you can get him in the 7th, 8th round, that is great. We have Keenan Allen next. Keenan Allen, who just got extended, actually, his contract, $80 million, I'm pretty sure. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about fantasy. In terms of fantasy, he's always been a good player in fantasy, always reliable, always going to get you those 12 points, 13 points, and I think it'll be pretty much the same again this year. I don't think he's going to be terribly affected by the QB situation with Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert. And I think that he can keep his low wide receiver 2 form going, even though I think he's a better receiver than that in real life. After that, we have T.Y. Hilton. Lots of great reports of T.Y. Hilton doing well in camp with Phillip Rivers, gelling well. I'm not so sold on T.Y. Hilton just because of his injury concern. I mean, he missed a lot of time last year, which really decreased his fantasy production. But we've seen T.Y.'s quality in the past, so I would not be surprised at all if he goes and has himself a great season. After T.Y. Hilton, we have DJ Chark. I've drafted DJ Chark in a lot of leagues for this reason because the Jaguars are probably the worst team in football. So they're going to be behind a lot. They're going to have to throw a lot. DJ Chark was the most targeted receiver on the Jaguars last year, and it probably won't change. My only concern is the ability of Gardner Minshew. I mean, he showed it to us a little bit last year, but I'm not sure if it's great to the point where he will be able to find DJ Chark a lot of times when there's in garbage time or anything. I'm just worried whether he will actually be able to find DJ Chark, but I guess we'll see. I have him as around a wide receiver 3. Draft him maybe 6th, 7th round if you can. He will go sooner than that, though. Cooper Kupp is second to last. Cooper Kupp is kind of like Tyler Lockett, PPR receiver. You're going to want to focus on the catches. Robert Woods is miles ahead of Cooper Kupp, in my opinion, but Cooper Kupp is still a good option. After that, we have A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is the last person on this list. A.J. Brown had himself a pretty good season last year. I think it was 1,100 yards, something, 6 or 7 touchdowns. I can't really remember off the top of my head. But I expect him to have maybe a little bit less. I don't trust the Titans' passing offense as much as I do other passing offenses. So I think it might be a little bit difficult for him to really get the production that we're really hoping for. I think a lot of people are reaching a little bit too early for A.J. Brown. in drafts. But if you can get him around round 6, round 7, more or less the same as like Cooper Kupp, DJ Chark, T.Y. Hilton, Keenan Allen. If you can get him around that range, he won't disappoint. But that is going to do it for the video today, guys. If you did enjoy, like, subscribe, share with your friends, and comment. I want to see whether you guys agreed with me or if you didn't. And if you didn't, make sure you tell me who you would put instead of the players I put in those positions. Yeah. But that's all for today. So thank you for watching. If you've watched all the way till now, and I will see you guys later. Peace. What is up, everybody?